a whistleblower, and this is for the Committee on Oversight and Accountability, a whistleblower featuring David Grush, who has accused the government of withholding information that has to do with, I agree with you, Clay. I don't like this UAP thing, unidentified anomalous phenomena. I'm like, that makes you sound even nerdier. UFO is a good, like, we all know what a UFO is, and I think we stick with it. But the cool kids now in this community say UAP, but I'm still going with UFO. So here we are, waiting to see more of what comes out of this. Do we have some audio of this guy, right? Do we have some? Let's play part of what the testimony is likely to center around here. Play it.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Okay. So he's straight up saying that we've pulled aliens out of space.
Buck.
Under oath, right?
Yes.
That's what he's saying. I'm not missing this. That's what he did say this morning. It started at 10 a.m. Eastern. So what's going on here, Clay?
I mean,
you want to take a shot at this?
I mean, first of all, can I just say the fact that they scheduled the Hunter Biden the plea agreement for the exact time that some guy was going to sit down under oath and say we've taken non-human biologic life forms, basically aliens, out of alien spacecraft. I mean, this is crazy, right? I mean, this is next level under oath testimony. So this guy is willing to potentially be put in prison as a perjurer in order to either make up that we have uncovered alien life inside of crash alien planes, or he is so crazy that he believes his untruth, which would make it harder to charge him with perjury because he may truly believe a lie. But, I mean, this is blockbuster stuff. And for it to be occurring, again, under oath in Congress, this is not you and me, Buck, driving along. We take a call from some guy and he calls in and says, hey, I'm out in location here. I mean, this is under oath in Congress, testimony today, that there have been alien spacecraft that have crashed in Earth and that we have removed dead aliens from those spacecraft. Now, here are my thoughts. And I guarantee you 800-282-2882, we are going to be deluged in calls over this.
We got some colorful phone calls yesterday.
Oh,
I understand.
I don't doubt that at all. If this has happened, so anytime there is a story like this that occurs, how many people would know this? Okay, is my first thought. Because to you or me, Buck, if let's say that there are 25 people that show up at an alien spacecraft and remove dead alien bodies, that would seem like it's something to keep really quiet. I mean, if you or you're in the CIA, do you think if you had shown up at an alien spacecraft and there had been dead bodies that were not human pulled off that spacecraft, that you would have been able to not tell anyone about that? I mean, even if you're in
0% chance that could be kept secret based on my time in the Central Intelligence Agency and knowing the people who work there and their mindset. No chance you're pulling the equivalent of little green men out of a flying saucer that has crashed. Again, to that point, really good at intergalactic travel or whatever, not so good at avoiding the Rocky Mountains or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't believe it. Okay. This guy's testifying on Capitol Hill. People can get mad at me. They can say, I don't know anything. And I don't know anything about UFOs. And I would love to know a lot about UFOs. And I understand, it always falls back into like, well, you can't, I know. Tomorrow, no one can predict the future. I always say it. Tomorrow there could be, remember the show V? We could have the aliens that are actually lizards that look like people and all that stuff. I don't know. No one can tell you what tomorrow's going to bring. Do I think that the federal government has been covering this up? I do not. And I would just ask, why would they cover it up too? Like, what's the well, what's the incentive so we can have their like super badass technology or something? That's kind of what I always hear. But I go, well, why?
Yeah, it's a
I
great
don't know.
question.
And
So
what
my
is
first
this
thought
technology
is,
that's so amazing that we can't say we got from aliens in the first place? If we got it, which we didn't, because this is all crazy.
well, so my first thought is conspiracies are hard to keep up, especially conspiracies that, just take a step back, are incredible stories. So it's hard to keep people silent on things for a long time. The more people that are involved, the less likely it is that it can stay silent. Now, you can say, well, this guy's testifying under oath. Clearly, it's not staying silent. But I would say if he's correct, it would mean that there are dead alien bodies somewhere in the United States government's control. Right? Presumably, we didn't just bury these dead alien bodies like in a field somewhere. I would think we would conduct an autopsy, like look into the bodies. How are they constructed? What do they look like? And then you asked the good question. Yeah.
Can I admit something about this? It's a little bit like the JFK files for me too, where they're hiding something. And it's usually when the government is hiding things from you, it's usually not things that are really awesome. I'm just going to, again, drawing on what I know from, CIA stuff. It's not that it's so cool or so interesting and secret. It's that it's embarrassing in some capacity for the government. That's the most. Why won't they release this thing from 50 years ago? Who cares now? Why can't we all know? Because government agencies still, they view themselves as brands in a sense, right? I mean, like the FBI brand has gotten very beaten up the last few years, among others, CIA and others. And they don't really want those government agencies don't want to be, they don't want to look foolish. They don't want to look dishonest, whatever it may be. Anything related to UFOs, the only reasons I could see for them to keep it secret, and this is what this goes to, is there is some sensitive technological research they're doing that somehow this touches upon. That's the most charitable version of it for the government side. Or they look bad. We're doing some kind of weird experiments, or meaning the government, that they don't want us to know about. This Representative Burchett, he's a Tennessee guy. You know him?
I've met him, I think, but I don't know him personally.
Here he is, cut 13. He's talking about this. He's one of the leading lawmakers behind this investigation. Play it.
I don't want people to think we're going to bring in little green men or a flying saucer in this thing, but this is starting the floodgates, and these gentlemen are coming forward with what they've seen. These are firsthand accounts. This isn't some good old boy back in the woods who's had too much to smoke or drink and he spotted something. These are trained pilots and experts in their field.
It's stunning. I can't wait to hear this testimony. I think it's going to be fascinating. Before I let you go, what do you say to those who say, look, of course there's a lot of stuff out there. There's space junk, there are drones, there are spy balloons that we have seen, so it's not surprising that they're picking up on this stuff.
Yes, ma'am. I would say that the Tic Tac videos are proof enough. They have no vapor trail. There is no heat signature. There is nothing. And they defy all of our laws of physics. The pilots can't define it. The scientists can't define it. It is not the Russians. They wouldn't be in Ukraine. It wouldn't be China. They already own us, but they would really own us. And it's not us. So where's it coming from?
So,
he sounds very, reasonable when he talks about it.
Yeah. So your question of why would they keep this hidden is, I think, fascinating. So one is, Buck, I could see them believing that there are amazing technological advantages that they could get by deconstructing this alien spacecraft. And if they crashed for some reason in the United States, we don't want China to know that we're trying to unpack whatever their technology is for future advantages in combat. That would be one. Again, I still think it would be very hard to keep it quiet. Two would be, and this is more ominous, they have discovered that there is alien life, and that alien life has basically told us, hey, we can destroy your planet at any point in time, and they don't want a panic to ensue because all of human life is basically in the hands of people that we really don't understand and comprehend in any way. And how much panic think about what COVID did, okay? Think about what COVID did that killed, 0.1%, 99.9% of you got COVID and you were fine. If, for instance, an alien life form had arrived here and said, hey, we have the ability to obliterate all human life in the snap of our fingers if we decide to do so, I would think that would probably create a little bit of a panic in the United States and around the world.
Weren't you a creative writing major along with
Yes.
being a history major,
Yes.
right? Or you have a creative writing degree? Because I'm ready for the screenplay, my man. You're good to go with that one.
I think through what would create a conspiracy of silence. One is, okay, we're trying to gain a competitive advantage, right? To answer your question, because I think it's a good one. Two is, all of humanity is under direct mortal peril, and they know that panic will ensue if they tell us how much mortal peril we're actually in. Those are the two theories that...
Great premise for a movie, right? Like
Yeah.
trying to keep it from everybody that once in a while we get a visit and they're like, hey, I don't know, we might have to just vaporize your whole planet, but we're like, no, please don't. And then we have to pay them off somehow. I don't know.
The question that I come back to again, and we're going to take some calls on this. Maybe we'll ask Chris Christie what he thinks not only about the plea agreement in Delaware. He's got a wide scope of potential topics here, as we typically cover every single day. But also, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting lit up already by VIP emails. Lit up. Just because I'm like, I don't see it,
Oh, because
guys.
they're mad at you for saying, yeah,
Yes.
look, I mean, who's your
Yes.
real ally here? I am on the record. I think that there is alien life forms and that they have visited Earth. That I'm on the record. And by the way, Buck, let me just say this. I would not be stunned. I really wouldn't if we look at some of the things that have been created in ancient history.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding. The pyramids,
Stonehenge,
all this
Lost
stuff.
City of Atlantis.
I would not be surprised if superior technology has been shared at some point in time historically in human life. Because here's the other thing. If you believe that aliens have visited our planet, by the way, could be time travelers. You want to get even creepier. What if it's not alien life forms? What if there is just the ability that somewhere in the future they unlock the ability to travel back in time, and then they crash here every now and then, and we're totally threatening the space-time continuum if we in any way acknowledge what might have happened. I'm just saying, I have expansive universe of potential outcomes every day in life, and so none of those things would stun me, right?
What you guys don't know is that Clay has a flux capacitor in his radio studio.
No, I mean,
at all
think
times.
about it. If aliens are capable of traveling to America today, let's say they're going to come, it's 2023. Why wouldn't they have been able to come in 1323 or 823, right? Like, why wouldn't that have been possible at some point in time?
Look, I think the movie Predator is fantastic, and, who knows? Maybe they just show up sometimes. They do some kind of trophy hunting, and you know what I mean? I don't know. Clay, it's a
Here's
crazy
one that'll
world we
really
live in.
blow your mind, Buck. What if the asteroid that killed all the dinosaurs wasn't actually an asteroid? What if it was in some way propelled by an alien species to test something on Earth hundreds of millions of years ago?
I just want the millions of people who are listening right now across the country to know that according to at least some of the VIP emails we're getting, I'm the crazy one. Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I
I'm not giving a yes or no. I'm saying I have a wide range of possibilities that I will consider on any topic. I think, look, historically, Buck, if you and I had been doing this show in 1640, I don't know how the show would have been distributed. We're sitting up on a stage and there are all these people throwing tomatoes at us, right? Like while we're talking. We could have thought in 1640, we would have said, we've discovered everything. There's nothing else that humans could ever uncover about life. And we would have looked laughably absurd 50 years later, 100 years later. And today we'll look back like the most brilliant people of their age would have said, hey, you're sick. Let me go get a bunch of leeches. We'll take out as much of your blood as possible. That's going to get you healthy. So I'm skeptical of science and of people who claim that they know the end result of anything.
This is the moving the goalpost with the UFO thing that drives me insane. I make no promises, have no analysis, no thoughts about whether UFOs will visit the Earth, whether something could happen. I'm only interested in what has happened. And
and I think it has happened.
Of.
I think they've been here. It's a leap of faith. Right now, that guy just testified. Not only have they been here, we took bodies out. Now that seems like a step beyond to
completely
me.
insane.
That seems like a step beyond.
I miss the guys in the 80s in flannels and trucker hats who were like, then the aliens grabbed me outside the bar. And it's like, wait, what?
Well, I know, but where would these bodies be? And how many people have seen them? I mean, can we get the guy who testified about the alien bodies on the show? I mean, if Congress is swearing him in.
We're going to have to get him on. And I'm it's going to be the reverse of the Pence thing. I'll be like, are you serious, sir? He's going to be like, hey, he's an expert
Let the man
witness. Settle
talk.
down, Buck.
He's trying to answer questions.